How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to another video, and today what I have for everyone is my full review of the Moto G9 Power. Alright, so I've been using this bad boy for a good amount of time, and I feel like I've gathered all my thoughts and opinions on it, and that's what I'm going to share with everyone today in this video. And as of the recording of this video, I'm actually recording it a little bit faster than I typically would. Well, I found a buyer for this bad boy, and they made me an offer I could not refuse. And essentially, I just been battery testing it for the past week and a half because I already ran it hard and put it through all the tests that I wanted to put it through. So I figured, let me just shoot the full review. Let me shoot the case review, and then we'll factory reset it and send it on down the road to the next owner, and we'll bring in the next device, or we'll start testing the next device. But before we can do all that, we have to get through this full review. So let's get into it. And hopefully, by the end of this video, you guys and gals know whether or not if this device is worth picking up. Alright, let's not waste any time. So, starting off with the overall build quality and design of this bad boy right here. Build quality wise, this is very, very similar to the Moto G Power 2020. So you have an aluminum mid-frame with a plastic unibody on it. Alright? And then you have your Gorilla Glass 3 IPS LCD display up front. So in terms of the overall build quality, I have to say it is really, really good, and I haven't had any issues with the build quality in my overall time with the device. And I gotta say, in terms of the overall design, I kind of like this design, this psychedelic fingerprint brush pattern. I kind of like it. And I gotta say that modern redesign for the camera module, that looks pretty good as well. So in terms of the overall build quality and design on this device right here, I have to say Motorola has done a really good job. Really good job indeed. Alright? Now, let's move on. Let's talk about the overall screen and the display, and let me give y'all my thoughts on it. Alright, and let me take it off of dark mode so y'all can see it a little better, because I know some of my viewers always say, when I do the reviews, can I do it without it being on dark mode? So let's take it off of dark mode. This way y'all can see that display. So, talking about the display here, getting down and dirty into the nitty gritty, we have an IPS LCD Gorilla Glass 3 720p plus display. Okay? And this is a 16.8 inch 720p plus display. So it has a resolution of 720p by 1640, giving it a screen density of 263 pixels per inch. For you guys and gals who like to know all the technical specifications, there you have it. Now, talking about the display in terms of daily usage, I gotta say it's right on par with the Moto G Power 2020's display. Now, I do find that I have to run it a little brighter indoors and outdoors. So you can see right here, it's at about just over 50%. I would say that's probably 55. And then outdoors, I have to max it out all the way. That's similar to what I have to do to the Moto G Power 2020, so that's not a big deal there. But in terms of the overall day-to-day usage with the display, I have to say it is really good, and I haven't had any issues. I haven't had any issues at all. So again, in terms of the display category, I have to say Motorola has done a great job here. Great job indeed. Alright? Now, moving on, let's dive a little bit deeper into the hardware and the software on this bad boy right here. Let's go ahead and start off with the hardware first, and then we're going to dive into my overall thoughts and opinions on the software. Now, hardware-wise, this bad boy is packing 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of onboard storage. Okay, it does have dual SIM support, so that's 2 nano SIMs, or 1 nano SIM and 1 micro SD card. that micro SD card can be used as adaptable, expandable storage. So you can expand the storage that way and use it as internal storage. So really good stuff there. Other hardware features include, we do have a 3.5mm headphone jack, as y'all can see right there. I'm happy to see that Motorola is keeping that bad boy alive. Really good stuff there. And we do have fast charging via turbo power charge with the USB Type-C charging port. Now, in particular, that's 18-watt fast charging via the turbo power charging. So really good stuff there, indeed. And then we already talked about the display, but on the rear of the device, we have a triple camera setup. So we got a 64 megapixel primary camera, we got a 2 megapixel depth sensor, and we got a 2 megapixel macro sensor. But in all honesty, y'all, in my opinion, this is just one primary 64 megapixel sensor. I don't know why Motorola threw those extra non-needed sensors in there, but it is what it is. And then also on the back, riding a little high, we have that always active capacitive fingerprint sensor back there. And the fingerprint sensor, in my opinion, is really, really good. As y'all can see right here, really fast fingerprint sensor. But we also have the Moto display, we got raise to wake, and we got face unlock. So you can see I have the face unlock set up to where it scans my face, it leaves me on the lock screen, and I can go right in. And I gotta say, the face unlock on this is really, really fast. Really, really fast. So I'm kind of sad that they have face unlock for the Moto G9, the Moto G9 Power, but we don't have face unlock for the Moto G Power 2020. I don't understand why this one would have it, but the newer one wouldn't have it. So good stuff there. But in terms of unlocking and security, we got all the good stuff here. So fingerprint sensor, check. Face unlock, raise to wake, check, check. So good stuff there indeed. Now, talking about some more hardware here, in terms of the battery, this bad boy is packing a 6,000 milliamp hour battery on board. Now, I did do my typical battery testing, but I couldn't find a good teardown video for me to verify the actual battery size. But all of the battery verifier applications that I use did come up as this device having a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. So for all intensive purposes, as far as I see it, this bad boy does indeed have a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. And the battery on this bad boy is phenomenal. Okay, but Motorola is known for making some really, really battery beast devices, so I was expecting nothing less on that one. Now, also, this device does have a small level of waterproofing. It has a splash-resistant nano coating on the display and on the body, so this does have a little bit of water resistance, not much. Okay, not much, but I did want to let y'all know it does have the splash resistant nano coating on it. Okay, up front here we have a 16 megapixel secondary front facing camera. Okay, now, and I was kind of bummed out to see this, all the cameras on here can only record up to 1080p at 30 FPS. Okay, and if you use the stock camera application, that's it. It locks you in at 1080p 30 FPS. No more, no less with the front or the rear facing cameras. Alright? But essentially, oh no, I didn't go over the chipset yet. I was about to wrap up the hardware section and we need to talk about the chipset. So in terms of the chipset, what we got power in this bad boy here, this bad boy is running a Snapdragon 662 octa-core processor with an Adreno 610 GPU. So this is clearly a mid-range to entry-level processor right here. I think the Moto G Power 2020 is running a 665, and this is a 662. So a slight variation between the processors, but I think it's still the same GPU, the Snapdragon 610. But that goes over all of the internals to the best of my ability here. Okay, and we do have indeed one bottom firing speaker. Kind of sad to see that. I kind of wish Motorola would have kept the dual speaker setup, but it is what it is. I'm going to give y'all a speaker test a little bit later on in the video as well. But that essentially goes over all of the hardware on this device right here. Now, moving on, let's get into the software, okay? Now, software-wise, this bad boy is running Android 11 with the Moto UX skin on top. So you have all of your Moto gestures. You got your chop chop for the flashlight. You got your twist for the cameras. You got all the really nice customizable Moto gestures if you want to do the navigation gestures. You have the gaming mode. You have an area where they take you through all the Moto gestures. You got a fully customizable screenshot. All the Moto software that you're used to if you're coming from a Moto device or if you're new to the Motorola devices is here. It's a fully featured Android skin, but it has a very stock appearance to it. So at a glance, you would think it's stock Android, but if you dive a little bit deeper, you can see that we have a variety of extra plus features on this device. And I have to say, as far as skins go, on top of Android, Motorola is right up there as being one manufacturer that has my favorite overall skin. Because in my opinion, Motorola's Android skin is stock Android with all of the necessary tweaks that I would like to see. So they just put in only the features that they think their users are going to enjoy and use. Okay? And in terms of what software is running currently, let me show y'all right now. So, as of the recording of this video, I did tell y'all it's running Android 10, but let's just go into the security and let's check, okay? And you can indeed verify that it does have the fingerprint sensor and the face unlock right there, as y'all can see. But if we check the software version, you can see the Play Store version is on June 1st, 2021. And you can see in terms of the security patches, we're on July 1st, 2021. And if I tap this, it's going to check it out. And y'all can see, there we have it, Android 11. There's the model for the software. And there's the security patch yet again. Alright. So I just wanted to verify that. So you can see we are running the latest consumer available version of Android on the device. So really good stuff there. And in terms of my overall experiences with the software, I have to say it's good. Now, with a variety of applications open in the background, it does still suffer from the occasional app hiccup and app slowdown. But if you're mindful of what apps you're running, you should have an overall enjoyable experience. Okay? So in terms of the software and in terms of the hardware, I would have to say it's really good. Really good indeed. Okay? And you know what? Let me throw on the case, because I see this bad boy slipping around when I put it on the table, and I don't want it to slide off the table. So let's just throw the case on. There we go. Now when I put it down, it's not going to go anywhere. So that goes over the hardware. That goes over the software and my overall opinions on it. Now let's talk about the Wi-Fi, and I'm going to give y'all a Wi-Fi performance test and a speaker demonstration. All right? Now, in terms of the Wi-Fi, this bad boy is rocking AC Wi-Fi on board. So you got 2.4 gigahertz band Wi-Fi, and you got 5 gigahertz band Wi-Fi as well. And I gotta say, in terms of the Wi-Fi, I would say the performance is just good. Now, I did notice in side-by-side testing with some other devices that the Wi-Fi performance on this device is not the best, but it gets the job done. So it's just good. But let me give y'all a real-time Wi-Fi performance test so y'all can see for yourselves. Now also, I do want to let everyone know, recording this video here today, we are using the primary 12 megapixel camera on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, and we're not using any external audio hooked up. So all the audio you're hearing and the video you're seeing is coming straight from the cameras and onboard microphones on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10. So please let me know what you think of the overall video quality, as well as what you think of the overall audio quality down below. Alright? So let's fire up a YouTube video here. Okay? And you can see I did have it pulled up, but it does look like it had to refresh. So let's go ahead and pull it back up. So you can see definitely needs some more memory management tweaks. Let's go ahead and max out the volume here. This way y'all get a nice speaker test. And let's start the Wi-Fi and speaker testing now. So I'm going to let it play for a little bit so y'all get a nice audio sample. Then we're going to scrub through the video and check the overall Wi-Fi performance. And then I'm going to give y'all my thoughts on the Wi-Fi and the overall speaker placement and performance. So here we go. Enjoy, guys and gals. Push play. Okay, let's scrub through the video, check the overall Wi-Fi performance now. So jump forward. Jump forward. Okay. Jump backwards. Okay. Okay. So there y'all go. Real quick Wi-Fi performance test, real quick speaker test as well. And as I said, now it's performing perfectly in the video, but I can tell y'all in terms of extended Wi-Fi testing, the performance, there's a noticeable dip in the performance, but it works. It's good. It gets the job done. But I did notice a dip in the overall Wi-Fi performance. Okay? Now, talking about the speakers on this bad boy, or speaker on this bad boy, as y'all saw, as y'all heard, we have one bottom firing speaker on here, and in my opinion, the speaker is just good. It gets the job done. I'm not a fan of the fact that it's bottom firing, just like I'm not a fan of the fact that we only get one. Y'all know I'm a big advocate for the front firing dual speaker setups, okay? And I kind of feel like, why would Motorola go backwards like this with this device? Okay? You kind of always had a stereo speaker setup, Motorola. Why are you going back to a single firing speaker right now? No. No. Don't do it. Why would you take a dominant step forward and then take a step backwards later on? No. No. But overall, the speaker placement, not a fan. The speaker performance is just good. The Wi-Fi performance is just good. Alright, let's keep it moving now. Let's go. So up next now, let's talk about the overall LTE and the supported bands on this device. Now, this device is a GSM international device. So it will only work on GSM carriers. And as y'all can see right there, I am running it with Free Up Mobile AT&T. And I'm not having any issues in terms of the data speeds and the LTE coverage. Like if I show you on the lock screen, you can see it says Free Up Mobile right there in the corner. And it's working, no issues. Now let me show you these bands real quick. So let's pull up the bands. And I did have this previously pulled up, and yet again, you see it had to do another refresh. So again, the RAM management could definitely use some work. But you can see these are the available bands for this device right here. So you have pretty much everything you need for the GSM carriers. Alright? So AT&T, you're good. Any of the MVNOs for AT&T, Cricket, you're good. So on and so forth, you're good. T-Mobile, you're good. Any of the MVNOs for T-Mobile, you're good. Metro, you're good. All right? But no CDMA, no Verizon, no Sprint, none of that. Not going to work. Okay? But in terms of the LTE and the band coverage, I'd have to say it's been really good, and I haven't had any issues. And even if I show you here, if we turn off Wi-Fi, turn that Wi-Fi off, you can see in terms of the bars and the coverage, we're getting full 4G LTE on Free Up Mobile AT&T. And this thing's been working like a champ. Now I have it on Do Not Disturb mode, so y'all don't see a bunch of notifications popping up. But trust me, the LTE works like a champ. Alright? So in terms of the LTE and the band coverage, this is a good one right here. Is it globally unlocked? No, but it gets the job done. And it works without issues. So really good stuff here when we talk about the overall LTE and the band coverage on this one. Alright? Let's keep it moving now. Let's go. Up next, let's talk about the Bluetooth on here. So Bluetooth wise, this bad boy is packing Bluetooth 5.0 built in. And I gotta say, in terms of the Bluetooth, it's good now. Before I did the software update, I was having a lot of Bluetooth issues. But after the software update that brought us up to Android 11, the Bluetooth is working phenomenally. Okay? But before the software update, I was having a lot of Bluetooth issues, a lot of connectivity issues, a lot of strength issues. But now it's been working flawlessly. I'm kind of sad to see that because I actually prefer some of the things that Google had for Android 10 versus how they chose to implement it on Android 11. So I was kind of rocking this device on Android 10 for as long as I could, but I started to run into some performance issues with the software, so I had to go ahead and do that software update. And now it's running so much better. But in terms of the Bluetooth, after the software update, I haven't had any issues. No issues whatsoever. Okay? Now, moving on, let's talk about the GPS on this bad boy right here. GPS wise, as I said in the beginning, when I first got the device, I was having a lot of software issues. I did have some GPS issues, but after I ran the software update and we got this bad boy fully up to date, everything has been flawless. Okay? So the GPS after the software update has been phenomenal. Turn-by-turn navigation, geocaching, geotagging, no issues whatsoever. Okay? So it definitely pays to make sure your device is up to date as far as it can possibly go so you alleviate as much issues as possible. But the GPS on here, top notch. Okay? Now, moving on, let's talk about the call quality and the speaker call quality on this device. Now, I gotta be 100% honest with everybody. I don't really take traditional phone calls anymore. I'm kind of more a video call person, a conference call person, and that's kind of what I did a lot of with this device. So Facebook Messenger worked flawlessly. Okay, Telegram worked flawlessly. WhatsApp worked flawlessly. All right, and I didn't have any issues. Callers said they could see me, they can hear me. I was coming through nice and loud and clear. Didn't have any issues. So the overall call quality on this one is top notch. Okay? Top notch indeed. Now for the rare instances where I did do a regular phone call, it sounded really good. The receiver was nice and crisp and clear and loud, and the speaker was phenomenal. Good stuff. So overall call quality with this device is top notch. Okay? Overall speaker call quality with this device is top notch as well. Okay? So good stuff there when we talk about the overall speaker quality and the overall call quality on this device. Okay? Let's keep it moving now. Up next, let me just briefly summarize my opinions on the cameras on this device. Now, I've done a separate dedicated camera review, including a full software walkthrough and all of the photo and video samples that I've taken with this device. I'll link that up down below in the video description, and if I remember, I'll throw up a card somewhere on the screen, so please feel free to pause the video, check out that video, and then come back and share your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments of this full review right here. Or you can share your thoughts and opinions in the comments of that video. It's completely up to you. Alright? Alright. But talking about my overall experience with the cameras, I have to say these are some good cameras. Can they do everything that I would like to see them do? No. But they do the bare essentials really, really good. And the features that they do deliver, they do it really good as well. So when I'm judging the cameras, I do point and shoot video, point and shoot photo performance, and overall audio capture capabilities. And I'm very happy to report that across the board, this camera does a really good job in all three of those categories. And the same thing applies to the front-facing camera. Really good front-facing camera as well. Just be mindful of the lighting, and you should have an overall enjoyable experience. Okay? That being said, as I said earlier, I don't like the fact that they lock the stock camera app to 1080p 30 FPS with the front and the rear. Okay? They kind of taking out features where they don't need to be taking out features. I understand that they want to simplify it, but come on. And these file sizes for 1080p get huge. Alright? So come on, Motorola. You didn't need to do that. But the overall camera experience with this has been really, really good. Okay? Now, moving on, let's talk about the gaming. Now, once again, I've done a full dedicated gaming performance video, and again, I'm very happy to report that the gaming on this one was really, really good. Now, it did get warm on the rear of the device with extended gameplay of about 45 minutes to an hour. It got warm, but there was no performance dips, and it was still overall an enjoyable experience. Okay, especially with this big, beautiful 6.8-inch display. Oh yeah, I had a great time gaming with this device. Now, Call of Duty was a little bit tough for me because I got small hands and this display is huge, but it was overall an enjoyable experience. So gaming on here was top notch in my opinion. Okay, now moving on, let's get into it. We're almost done with this one, man. We're flying through. Now we've reached a category that I'm very, this is one of my most passionate categories. Let's talk about the overall battery life and the overall charge times. Now again, and I want y'all to be mindful of this because this directly impacts the overall battery. Your usage style, the display resolution, the display size, the overall battery size, and the charging technology. So again, display size, 720p plus display, 6.8 inches, IPS LCD. So not as battery efficient, okay? Then got that resolution, 720p, and we got that 6,000 milliamp hour battery. Again, 18 watt turbo power charging on this one. Just so y'all know all the key things that might impact the battery. And again, these are just my particular results. Your guys and gals' results may vary because we all use our devices differently. Okay? So, that being said, and I'll throw up the relevant screenshots. Now, I didn't go through all of the battery testing on this one because, as I said, I found a buyer and they made me an offer that I could not refuse. So we got to get this one done quick so we could bring in the next one. But I put this bad boy through about maybe, I want to say 30 charge cycles. Okay, and then I reconditioned the battery just to see what the battery health is. So y'all can see the battery health is at 100%. Now, I was shocked to see that because this is an Amazon renewed device. Okay, and Amazon renewed devices, they claim, depending on where you get it from, that you're going to get at least 80% to 90% battery health. So I was kind of shocked to see that this battery is still at 100% pretty much. So good stuff there, Amazon. Good stuff there indeed. Now, that being said, talking about the overall battery life, the battery life on this was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. I can easily get through the day with my style of heavy usage, if not 2 days. Okay? And with light usage, forget about it. We're looking at probably a week and a half maybe with light usage. Okay? Keep in mind your guys and gals results may vary, but talking about that all-important SOT, or screen on time, I'm averaging, and this is crazy, I'm averaging between 12 and 20 hours of screen on time. My peak screen on time was 21 hours and change. My average screen on time is somewhere about 12, maybe 15. But that's crazy. So the battery life on this device is phenomenal. I don't even think Top Notch does it justice. It's phenomenal. Alright? Now, talking about the overall charge times, with that 18 watt turbo power charger, you're going to get up to full in about 2.5 to 3 hours, depending on what percentage the device is at when you put it on the charger. And I'm roughly averaging about 2.5 hours. Okay? Now, when I drained it down to almost dead, so like 5%, took a little bit under 3 hours to get us back up to full. Again, when I do my battery testing, I test 5% to 100, 3 to 5 times, 10% to 100, 3 to 5 times, 15% to 100, 3 to 5 times, and 20% to 100, 3 to 5 times. And I would say I probably did half of that. Okay? And I averaged about 2.5 to just under 3 hours to reach a full charge. Again, if you don't charge to full, it will be a lot faster for you. But because of how I like to do my testing, I do my testing from a charge to full standard. Okay? But the overall charge times, especially when you consider the size of the battery that's in here, that's some really good charge times. And then when you consider the battery life that you're getting, please, you can probably forget to charge this for a few days and be good to go still. So the overall charge times, top notch. The overall battery life, top notch to phenomenal. Alright? Now, we've reached the end of the video, y'all. Let's talk about pricing. Let's talk about overall availability. I'm going to give y'all my final thoughts, and we're going to get into recommendations. Now, talking about pricing. Okay? This bad boy is available from about $130 to $250 based on the condition that you get it in. In brand new, mint condition, unopened, sealed, is $250. Granted, the only ones that I can find were international GSM unlocked models. Okay? So I couldn't find a globally unlocked CDMA GSM model of this. And I picked it up from Amazon, from the Amazon Renew program. Just talking about the device itself, it was about $135 and change. Okay? And thank you guys and gals so much, because based on the fact that y'all using those affiliate links, I was actually able to cash in some gift cards and get this case completely for free. But I'll link up the case, I'll link up the device down below in the video description. If you want to do the actual math, I'll have the screenshots for the total pricing up on the screen in post. But it was $135 for the device, and it was about $14 or so for the case, if I remember correctly. Again, I'll throw up the screenshot receipts so y'all know exactly what it would have been, and y'all know exactly what I paid for this. But at that price of $135, can I recommend that y'all pick this up? I would have to say yes. At $250, can I recommend that y'all pick this up? I would have to say no. If you're going into the $250 price tag category, there are a lot of other devices in that same category that offer a lot more than this device offers. Sure, they won't have as good battery life as this, but they have a better display, they have better cameras, the software is more feature packed, you're getting an overall better experience. But really, guys and gals, anything under $150, I can recommend that y'all pick this up, no problem. And if you're a light to moderate user and you're just picking up a device because you need it, and you like a device with a big display because you like to consume a lot of media, or you're a big social media buff, you know, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, this device should serve you well. Okay? It's all about what you think you're going to be able to take the most advantage of. So, 135 to 150, can I recommend it? Yes, go ahead. 150 to 250, can I recommend it? No. No. Okay? But, guys and gals, that does it for this full review. As always, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. Okay? And I hope y'all found it helpful. If you did indeed enjoy the video and or you found it helpful, please help your boy out by giving the video a thumbs up. If this video piqued your interest, all the links to my extended coverage and the affiliated buy links will be available down below in the video description. So as always, if your interest is piqued, down below in the video description will be like a one-stop shop for you guys and gals, and you should be good to go. Okay? Now, I did say we were going to do a comparison between the Moto G9 Power and the Moto G Power 2020, but in all honesty, guys and gals, it's not worth it. I've honestly been running both of these devices side by side for like the last almost 3 weeks, and I could tell y'all it's not worth it. Okay? Depending on whichever device you can get the best deal on, I can honestly recommend either one of these. Okay? So, it's really up to y'all. Now, y'all can see in terms of the display sizes, 6.8 inches versus 6.4 inches. Right? 1080p versus 720p. In terms of the cameras, they both have triple camera setups. Okay? But they both have macro cameras and depth sensors. No ultra wide cameras on these. Now, 16 megapixel primary over here for the Moto G Power 2020. 64 megapixel primary over here for the Moto G9 Power. The 2020 variant records up to 4K, 30 FPS. They can both do slow motion, 720p, 120 frames per second, with the front and the rear facing cameras. Okay? This one actually lets you change the resolutions from 720p all the way up through 4K, 30 FPS. This one, you're locked at 1080p, 30 FPS with either the front or the rear facing cameras. They both have 3.5mm headphone jacks. This one's on the bottom. This one's on the top. Okay, so different headphone jack placement. You can see the fingerprint sensor placement is about the same. It's a little bit lower on the 2020 model because it's overall a smaller device, whereas it rides a little higher on the Moto G9 Power because it's a bigger device. Okay, that being said, you can find this device right here for about $130 to about $200, depending on if you know where to look. Alright, so real quick comparison there, and honestly, I can recommend either one of these two devices. Again, it just comes down to what you think you're going to be able to take more advantage of. I'll link up my coverage on this device down below, along with my extended coverage on this device as well. So if y'all want to check it out, y'all want to see other comparison videos, all that stuff will be linked up down below. Alright, that pretty much wraps it up for this one, y'all. Okay? As always, please, I hope everyone is being safe. I hope everyone's having a great day, and I will catch you guys and gals on the next one. Have a good one, everybody. We are out of here. Peace. All right.